my name is Michelle, and today I'm going to be doing the end of year book tag. I saw this on two different channels. I saw this in Megan the Books' channel, and I also saw it on Sant Reads' channel. Neither of them originated the tag though. They both said it, but I don't remember. Should I have written it down? Yeah, that would have been proper research to do. But I didn't, so unfortunately, I will put it in the comments below. But this is a tag just to kind of talk about our reading goals for the end of the year. And I have some big goals because I still, despite the fact that my story graph is telling me it's near impossible, I still believe in my heart of hearts that I can hit my book goal. I'm at 103 books for the year. My goal was 150. I read 150 books last year as well. And I am 20 books behind. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not looking good for me. But we're going to try our best to get there. Are we doing anything to really substantially make sure I'm reading 10 extra books? I need to read 25 books per month for the next 2 months. Is that going to happen? Probably not, but we're going to try our hardest. So hopefully I get a lot of reading done in the next 2 months. But I'm going to walk through these questions just to kind of talk about some of my hopes, dreams, goals, aspirations for the next 2 months. You may notice there are some quite long books on this list, which again is not boding well for the 25 books a month that I would need to meet my reading goal. But you live and you learn, okay? We were busy this year. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you still need to finish? Yeah. I am a notorious book picker-upper and then putter downer. I will put them back down and then ignore them. So this video was actually not supposed to be this tag, but I got very behind in my reading. Shocking, based on the fact that I was supposed to have a different video up. But I was supposed to have, since this is going to be my last video before Halloween probably, I was supposed to have a video in which I read 5 spooky books in 5 days. And I was supposed to do that all last week. It's been more than 10 days now, and I've read 3 out of the 5 books. So, doing excellent on that. Not really, but I have started 2 others that I think are going to be the ones that I finish out the reading vlog with, and that is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas and They Drowned Our Daughters by Katarina Monroe. So you should be seeing those 2 soon. I started both of these in that I've read the first chapter or so. I think they're going to be great. I haven't gotten very far in them. It's not their fault. I'm sure they're going to be great. So I have those that I want to read. Then this is a short story collection by Kate Folk that I started a while ago. I think I may have started this back in July. Maybe August. I've had it for a while and I just need to finish it. And it's a short story collection, so there's not a lot of pressure because you don't have to be keeping track of stories past, but I've really enjoyed it so far and looking forward to finishing it at some point. And then probably the most looming thing on my currently reading shelf is this, and this is Cuckoo Cloudland by Anthony Doerr. I've been reading this all year, on and off, all year, and every time I stop reading it, I have to start back at the beginning because it's too complicated to leave in the middle. There's 3 storylines and I need to follow what's happening in all 3 of them. I've gotten 200 pages in, and again, I don't think it's Anthony Doerr's fault. I think this book is good. I think I will enjoy it. I just need to give it the devoted attention it needs. I don't think I could be reading 17 other things and trying to also consume this book. But I'm gonna finish it this year. I promise you. I'm gonna try. So, that's a chunk. See, this is my problem. I'm I need to read 25 books a month, and then the books are all 700 pages long. And then I'm confused, but I don't hit it. And I'm reading for 30 minutes before bed. And I'm just why is this not working? It's because the math is not adding up, girly. It's not adding up. A couple other ones I started. I have a problem. This is a list of 87 books. I've also started 6 of Crows. I've talked about that. I put it down for a while because I just wasn't in the mood, but I'm probably a third of the way into 6 of Crows. Planning to finish it in the next month. I'm gonna read 6 of Crows, and then I've been working on Anna Karenina all year, and that's another one that's a tome. I'm 65-75% of the way through Anna Karenina though, so I have hope that I can finish it. I just need to get back into the swing of things. Do I remember what happened in the first 75%? Mostly. I can spark notes it. It will be fine. Next question. Do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? Sorta. Those spooky books that I already pulled up. They Drowned Our Daughters and The Hacienda. We've been reading more spooky. I love a spooky book in December. December is my favorite time to read scary books. I love Christmas. I'm not a Christmas hater. Love Christmas. We'll be out there decorating sugar cookies, decorating a tree, going ice skating, wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. I love Christmas time, but I like to balance that sugary sweetness of Christmas with a good scary book. So I will be reading some more spooky books in December, and I also hope to get some good fantasy in at the end of the year. Like I said, I'm reading 6 of Crows. I would love to read the Poppy War trilogy as well. I think those are the two big fantasy series I'm working on. And also I'm working on a video about some vampire books. So I have a couple more vampire books I want to read, and hopefully that video will be coming out sometime in November. I feel like summer is my time to read like romances, just like shoveling them down. Same thing with spring. Spring, summer, shoveling down romances. Fall, winter, I want scary books and fantasy books. Is there any new releases you're still waiting for this year? No, I don't think so. I thought about it a little bit. I didn't do that much research, but like I'm not a big like pre-hype before a book comes out girl. I just like listen to what everyone else is reading. I know that's like not a cool girl answer, but it's the truth. I like really only follow big releases for my like big three, which is Emily Henry. Her next book comes out in April called Happy Place. I'm very excited about it. Taylor Jenkins Reid, we don't know what she has coming out next, and Sarah J Maas. And her next book is going to be the next Crescent City book. Hopefully, I'm fingers crossed hoping it comes out next summer, but we don't actually know yet. I'm very, 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 very excited for all three of those, and I kind of follow their releases, but besides that, I don't really follow releases super closely. I kind of just like roll with things, and if they come out, I'm excited about them, you know. But I am going to be a little bit more on top of upcoming releases next year, because if you didn't know, I have a novel coming out next September. And because of that, I've been like much more in the like writer space, and so I'm in several like debut groups where other authors whose first books are coming out next year are like chatting with each other, and I'm really excited to read a lot of their works. I think reading debuts is like one of the best things that you can do to help shape the publishing industry. If you're wanting like more diversity and like different stories to be told, you need, I think one of the best things you can do is show your support of debut authors that are doing that. And so I'm really excited. These people have like become my friends. I'm very excited to see their work. It's like a very nerve-wracking, scary thing to be a first-time author, and so I'm excited to support some of them. And I will have videos coming out towards the end of the year talking about some of the books that I'm really excited about from those guys. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I have a bunch of books I want to read before the end of the year, but here are like my top 3 that have been on my list all year. This is A Novel Obsession by Caitlin Barish. I went to school with Katie. I went to college with Katie. She's like a friend of a friend. I've like hung out with her multiple times, and I'm really excited to read her book. I've started it. I guess this also could have been on the list of books that I started and haven't finished, but I only got like a chapter in. Her prose is really beautiful, and I wanted to make sure I gave her the headspace she deserved. And I have a hard time reading like really gorgeous books when I'm editing or writing, drafting, and I've been doing both those things almost constantly this year. But I've kind of gotten through the most, fingers crossed, heavy of my edits on my novel, so hopefully I'll feel comfortable. I'll be like have the brain space energy to read this. I'm hoping to have like a little writing break sometime in November, end of November, maybe December, as I like finish drafting my one book and finish revisions on the other, and hopefully I'll have time to read this. Fingers crossed, because I really want to read Katie's book. And then my other book that I want to read, or another one I want to read, is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This is another book that I have barely started. I have a problem, okay? Leave me alone. I've barely started this one. I don't even think I got through the first chapter. Have heard only excellent things about it. Everyone loves it. I think it's about like video games and friendship. But they're like, if you don't like video games, that's okay. And I'm really excited to read it. I think it's going to be really, really, really good. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I also really want to read A Secret History. Again, I'm just picking tomes, like long ass books. And then I'm confused why I'm not going to hit 150 books. Like, girly, you got to read some shorties. But I would really love to read A Secret History. I feel like A Secret History is like a seminal piece of work that everyone like references really a lot, and I like haven't read it. I have started it before. Shocker. Are you surprised? I've started A Secret History, but I haven't finished it. I've started it like a long time ago. I don't even consider it like a currently reading, because like I would need to start it over if I were to pick it up. But I like really would love to read that. I read The Goldfinch last year or the year before by Donna Tartt and really enjoyed that. I think Donna Tartt's writing is really interesting, but I think The Secret History is like such an important piece of literature, and I feel like I'm missing out on part of the cultural zeitgeist. So it's another one of my hopes. Is there a book that could become your favorite book of the year? I think there's potential for like a lot of books to become my favorite book of the year. I feel like November is often like a really good reading month for me. Like January and November historically are like my best reading months. Why is that? I think in January I'm reading everyone's favorite books from last year, and then in November I'm starting to hear like favorite books from this year. I also just think it's like the transitional time. Like things are starting to slow down in November and they haven't picked back up again in January, but like we haven't fully settled. We've got like the December in between where like the holiday rush is happening. I don't know, but I think November is like often a pivotal time. November is the month I read Evelyn Hugo in, and Evelyn Hugo is my favorite book of all time. So I think Tomorrow has a potential to be an all-time favorite. I'm hoping to dig into some fantasy series. Like I mentioned, I would really love to read Poppy War, and I think that has the potential to be a all-time favorite or like favorite of the year. And then I also have a video that I'm working on for late in November, where a sneak peek that I'm reading books that are like recommended based on like Throne of Glass. So like if you like Throne of Glass, read these books. And I'm reading a couple series for that, and I'm hopeful that some of them, since they're based on my favorite series, could be like all-time favorites. But I'm like very much open to it. Currently my favorite book of the year was a book I read in January. I feel like January had like a lot of like really good juicy 5-star reads, and it hasn't been like a great year for me. I think I've only read like 9 5-star reads this year, and that's really lower than I would like to see it. So I hope my favorite is to come. That is always the hope, I would say, I think. Have you started your reading plans for next year is the final question. Yes, sort of. I've like started thinking about it. I want to think about my goal a little bit differently, because I think with this quantity goal, I have been reading a lot of like 3-star books. Like I said, my 5-star is lower than I would like to see it. I would like to see my 5-star be a little bit higher. Same thing with like my 4.5s and 4s, and like less 3s and 2s. And so I'm kind of thinking that I want to do a reading goal that is like based on stars, like trying to read like 25 stars maybe over the course of the year, which I know you have like less control over, but I think that might like push me to read less. Like I love a Kindle and limited romance, like I love them, but so rarely are they 5 stars because they're just like, they don't have a ton of substance. And I think it would maybe like be shifting the perspective and trying for like a quality of book rather than a quantity of book. And I also want to read a lot of debuts. I've already talked about that, but I like definitely want to read a lot of debut authors because they're like my peers now, which is like a weird thing to think. And I also want to be better about planning out content a little bit further ahead. I like started this channel in January of this year, and so it'll be a year of me having it. But like I've taken a lot of time off because like my writing schedule has kind of demanded that of me, and I would love to be like planned out a little better in advance, so I'm not having to take time off for like writing reasons quite as often, because I have like things like pre-planned and like have a little bit more like flexibility in like my reading schedule. That's boring, but that is the truth. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Like I said, hopefully next week you're going to be getting some like spooky content. Will it be post Halloween? Yeah, but like spookiness goes with autumn. Like I said, December is one of my favorite times to read spooky books. So like I am getting you prepared. I think it just needs to be like, it's getting dark earlier. We got the time change if you live in America and not Arizona coming, which makes the world darker. I think everyone does a time change. I was in Paris in 2018 and during the time change, and it was kind of like confusing. I'm gonna stop talking because I will just keep rambling at you all day long, and nobody wants that. So I will talk to you next time, hopefully with my 5 spooky reads video over the course of like 18 days, which is a much less catchy title, but you live and you learn. And I will see you then. Subscribe if you want to watch that video, and leave a comment below what books you still need to read before the end of the year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.